Creating custom Pokemon for you! Welcome back, everyone, to the show where we select lucky commenters to spin a series of random wheels that give us factors for a Pokemon that we then create just for you. We're going to be making 3 amazing custom Pokemon as always, so make sure to leave a comment if you want one in the next episode. But without further ado, let's get into the first Pokemon. And today's first Pokemon will be for Kieran, who made a custom Pokemon for me. That's epic. So alright, Kieran, let's start by getting the power level of your Pokemon, and you're going to be a Paradox form 9. I actually love making these. And it means that now we'll spin this wheel to see which generation will be making a Paradox form 4, and it's Gen 4. Epic. So now we'll spin this wheel that has every single Gen 4 Pokemon on it, and we got Bastiodon. I love fossil Pokemon, so that's great, but I will say a Paradox version of a fossil is pretty strange. Now, Paradox forms always keep at least one of their old types, so we know that it'll be Steel type, but let's still spin to get a secondary type, and it's the Light type. That's the newest fan-made type we've added to the wheel, and this is only the second one we've ever made. And the last step, before we see what this Paradox Bastiodon will look like, let's see if it's a past or future Paradox, and it's future. I guess either way it would have been difficult, so yeah. This Pokemon is extremely popular among solicitors. Your Pokemon is Iron Panel, the solar-powered Pokemon. In the far distant future, the atmosphere has been mostly destroyed, with parts of the region now nearly uninhabitable by humans thanks to the intense solar rays. However, for Iron Panel, this is its greatest strength, as it's been modeled after the ancient shield-faced beast Bastiodon. However, its face has been replaced with a giant panel that can absorb the intense solar rays, giving it a nearly infinite power source. But that's not all, as this protected panel is also capable of absorbing energy-based attacks, allowing Iron Panel to turn attacks meant to take it down into the source of power for its own moves. In terms of stats, Iron Panel has insane special defense to mimic Bastiodon's insane physical defense. And for the shiny, I actually have 2 different options. This first one is just the shiny that all the future Paradox forms have, where it becomes this steel chrome color. But I also have this version, which is a callback to the original Bastiodon. So let me know in the comments which one y'all prefer. But now let's get into the second Pokemon. But first, real quick reminder that we are still selling the SEDI-MAT, but right now is the last month that you can get your hands on it. It's a super high quality mat that comes in desk mat and playmat sizes, and it's the first merch I've done, and if it goes well, I can do more in the future, which would be awesome. And again, they're only available until the end of this month, so if you're interested in getting one, you have to act soon by going to the links in my description to check out the SEDI-MAT. All good if not, of course, but if you're interested at all, I would really appreciate you checking out that link. And today's second Pokemon will be for Oblivious Emperor. I'm glad you like Corrupted Recraft. That was definitely one of the more fun member modifiers in a while. But anyways, Oblivious, let's start by seeing the power level of your Pokemon, and you're going to be a Convergent Evolution. Fun! Which means we're going to bring back out the Generation Wheel to see which generation of Pokemon we'll be working with this time, and it's Gen 7. I definitely think that generation gets a lot of hate for no reason. I really like Alola, so this should be good. And now, of course, we'll spin this wheel that has every single Gen 7 Pokemon on it, and we got Sandygast. That is actually one of my favorite Pokemon. I love all the ground types, but I always thought Polizan was particularly really fun. And now let's see what new typing we'll be giving to this Convergent Sandygast. The first type is the Bug type. Oh gosh, that is not going to be easy. And Pure Bug. Wow, that is something. And the last step, before we see which Pokemon looks like, let's see if it has an X Factor, and you do a Mega Evolution. This is insane. Let's show this one off quick because I'm shaking with anticipation. The first stage of your Pokemon is Sandyant, the Anthill Pokemon. Unlike its Alolan counterpart, who's a pile of sand controlled by a ghostly spirit, Sandyant is instead a dirt structure, which is built and managed by a swarm of tiny ant-like Pokemon. That's right, Sandyant is actually an entire colony of bugs who run its body similar to a military base, firing attacks out of its mouth and eyes, repairing damaged areas with lying debris, and conserving resources for the entire clan to eat. And upon reaching level 42, it'll evolve into Palossand, now a giant medieval fortress swarming with bugs. This Pokemon is one of the most difficult enemies to figure out in the entire Pokemon world, as its militarized might can adjust to the opposing strategy on the fly by reinforcing spots on its body that are being targeted by attacks, changing their angle of of attack to throw off opposing defenses. And at times get desperate, they can act like Patrick Star by picking up Palisance and moving it somewhere else. But when exposed to Antites, it'll evolve into Mega Palisance. Through the power of Mega Evolution, this Pokemon has gained the one thing it lacked before: mobility. As the Mega Evolved Ant on its underside is now able to carry the entire fortress on its back, which it rapidly scuttles around the battlefield, making what was already an impossible opponent to figure out even more unpredictable. In terms of stats, Mega Palisance has solid speed and insane defenses. And while regular Palisance still has those great defenses, it has absolutely no speed, which would actually make for a super fun battle strategy, because while at the beginning of the battle, Palisance would definitely be last in the move order, at any point you could Mega Evolve it, and that would change up the move order entirely. And for the shiny, I went with this ghostly white and purple color as a reference to the original Palosance's ghost typing. But now let's get into the third Pokemon. But before we get into the final Pokemon, it's time for the Member Modifier. This is the segment of the show where we take a fan favorite Pokemon from a previous episode in the series and give it a brand new upgrade. Today's Member Modifier is actually really interesting because I had my channel members vote between this trio of starter Pokemon who did not end up becoming the official starter Pokemon in my fan game Pokemon Void, which sort of makes them like a dark trio, so I thought it'd be cool to give one of them a corrupted form. And the options were Dracavern, the deep sea dragon, Phantom, the hyper-intelligent grass alien, and Frignix, the ice-type melting phoenix. And the winner was Frignix, whose paradoxical typing was noticed by the distant evil cosmic legendary, who corrupted Frignix, infusing it with the cosmic type and getting rid of its body's dilemma. As now freed from its ice typing, Frignix is no longer in a constant state of melting and refreezing, and is now an eternally burning and growing cosmic fire that seeks to spread across the world. Huge thank you to all my channel members, and for the shiny, I went with this light blue color as a reference to its lost ice typing. And today's third Pokemon will be for Carrie. I thought Blitzker was super cool too, and it's definitely a shoo-in to be put into Void. And let's of course start by getting the power level of your Pokemon, and you are an Ultra Beast. Finally, it seems like we never get that anymore. Now, every Ultra Beast besides one don't evolve, but let's still spin this wheel where you have a chance to get some evolutions, but none this time. Now, let's see what typing your Ultra Beast will be. Your first up is going to be the Light type, back-to-back Light types. That is absolutely insane. And Light Poison type, that is very strange typing. I feel like I'm still getting used to what the Light types are even supposed to look like, so an Ultra Beast that's also Poison type might throw me for a loop. This Pokemon is absolutely radiating with never mind, that's just radiation. Your Pokemon is Rottiate, the harmful radiation Pokemon. If you're ever close enough to see this Pokemon, then your fate has already been sealed. As not only can they be found on planets with the most violent of ecosystems, forcing them to be hyper-aggressive and ruthless, but it's their particular methods of weakening foes that is especially worrying. Because as soon as Rottiate fixates on an opponent, they will begin to emit a low gamma radiation from the strange yellow crystals on its body. And while this radiation won't instantly take you out, it will slowly weaken your body over the course of the battle. So if its super agile frame and large claws aren't enough to take you out right away, it's still only a matter of time before you notice your attacks becoming more sluggish and painful until you have no energy left. In terms of stats, Rottiate has very good speed and physical attack, with all its stats being prime numbers, just like all the other Ultra Beasts. And for the shiny, I actually went with this metallic gray and blue color as reference to the Yu-Gi-Oh card Rottweiler, which we actually based the design off of. If you liked today's episode, make sure to check out all the other episodes of the custom Pokemon series that can be found in this playlist. As always, huge thank you to all the artists that worked on today's Pokemon. They can all be found in the description, so make sure to go check them out. And I'll see you all in the next episode, but until then, peace.